guys, welcome to Hyperledger Composer Development Series Part 3. Okay, so I'm in my Linux virtual machine environment and let's get started with today's agenda. So what we saw in last part is that we downloaded the prereq scripts and then we ran the prereq scripts and prereq scripts actually downloaded all these part. These are Node, npm, Git, Python, etc. So we saw that, and we also went through a few of these. And so in this part, let's start with development of our installing our development environment. So we'll go over here and we'll see. Okay, so we need to install some of the CLI tools. Now the first tool that we are going to install is the Composer command line interface, and this tool can be installed by using the npm installer. Now npm can install in one command all the dependencies of a project that the package.json file. Okay, so Composer CLI is needed because the shell scripts in the Fabric development environment has a dependency on it. So let's get started with installing your first. Copy it and I'm in my user directory. Okay, so it started installing and it's going to take some time, and once it is, let it get installed, then we need to verify whether the installation has gone good or not. It will still getting installed. So when you are installing this for the first time, it's really takes some time, but okay, so our first Composer CLI has been installed, command line interface has been installed. In order to verify whether the installation has gone good or not, we will try and verify that, and we will actually go ahead Composer Okay, so as you can see over here, it has returned the version number. So that means our first command has been installed properly. Let's go ahead and copy the second one, which is your REST server, and run this. Okay, so the second Composer tool that we need to install is the Composer REST server, and we're going to do that. That's been so your Composer REST server is being installed. It is still being installed. It might take a little bit of time because it has to bring in all the dependencies, and that's why it's taking time. So let's wait for this command. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and copy this so that this is the next command that we need to execute. Also, sometimes what happens is you might get some error, and you don't have to worry about it. You just have to execute this command again, because that happens because of connectivity problem. Okay, so this has been installed, and we can verify that by typing in. We can verify this by running this command Composer REST server -v, and it will return your version number, and that shows that the command has executed properly. So let's go ahead and paste the third command. Okay, so we have pasted, and in the meantime just copy the Yeoman tool. So we don't have to worry about all these commands. I'm going to create another content just to explain all of these. What are these? But right now you just have to know how I'm going through so that it gets you started. And these are just tools you can, and there are very good piece of information out here which you can go ahead and read it. These actually says why this is being installed. There are a few useful CLI tools for Composer developers. So these are all tools that we'll be needing it, and that's why we need to install. And this is part of our installing the development environment. So, for example, Yeoman is a tool for generating applications which utilizes generator Hyperledger Composer. And the G over here that you see is just that, installing it in global environment. Okay, so this has been installed. So let's go ahead and install the last part. All right, so in the meantime, this is being installed. Let's go scroll down. All right, so next command that we are going to install is to install Playground. Now, as you can see over here, this is the playground where you can model and test your network as soon as possible. Okay, so next command we are going to install is your Composer Playground. Now, Hyperledger Composer Playground is a browser-based interface that you can use to model your business network. Hyperledger Composer Playground, which is this one over here. This is online and on cloud, and uses your browser local storage to simulate the blockchain network state storage, which means you don't need to run a real validating peer network to use Playground. So we will go through this one, but we'll actually open it on our local environment, and we'll try and model our network on that. So this is what we are going to install in our next command. Okay, so our Yeoman tool has been installed, and it says everything looks good. All right, and Yeoman Doctor. Okay, so now let's go ahead and copy this and paste it. So Composer Playground is being installed so that we can use it locally on our system, on our ports, instead of using it online on the Bluemix, which is your cloud. We'll just use it here, and probably that is just to show you. Mainly, we are going to deploy the network properly by using, and we're going to test differently. And so this is just one way deploying it. It's easy actually to create your network, model your network, deploy a network, but it's not advisable to use something like cloud in order to learn things, because you are not able to see what's happening behind the scenes. So that's why I prefer to actually go through everything and try and see. We'll do everything locally, and it's a good way to learn things. You can actually see what's happening in at the backside. So this Playground is going to allow us to start working with a dummy business network, and so we will create a very simple blockchain with the Playground, using the Playground locally. Okay, so our development environment, all the tools is done without any errors. It has been installed without any errors. Now, so just before I move ahead, let me download a code editor that is Visual Code Editor, and for that you need to go to visualstudio.com, that is code.visualstudio.com//download, and we're going to download the 64-bit over here, which is the Ubuntu 4E12, because that's, remember that we are not downloading this on a host machine, we are downloading this on our uh, virtual machine, which is our Ubuntu in this case. So we are going to download this for Ubuntu dev 64-bit, this one. Okay, so you can see over here download has started, because this editor will be using it to write our code, write our modeling language, and then our logic. I'll go through that in a bit. Click on install package. It's asking for the password, so let me put the password that I created. Okay, so installation is complete. And let's close this and minimize this one, just to check whether code is available or not. Let me type code code. Okay, so you can see the VS Code has started editor. Go to extensions and search for Hyperledger. Alright, so you can see that Hyperledger, it is applied with Hyperledger Composer extension. So we just need to install this over here. So it's done, Hyperledger Composer extension from Marketplace. So as of now, just minimize it. So next, we will be installing the Hyperledger Fabric itself. So if we go up over here on the same page, this is same as installing the development environment. On the same page, you'll see if you go down, so we are done away with all this. We have installed all that, and we have also installed the Composer Playground. We'll see in a bit. We'll play around with the Playground, Composer Playground. And so let's start from here now, step 4, which is installing the Hyperledger Fabric. The first thing that it is asking us to make a new directory, and recommendation is fabric dash dev servers. Okay, so we'll go ahead and create the directory. mkdir fabric dash dev dash servers. Okay, so this has been created. We can just check it, and you can see that fabric dash dev dash servers has been created. Next is we need to go get inside this new folder that we created, cd fabric dash dev dash servers. Okay, so we are inside this fabric dash dev dot servers, and in this directory we need to run this command, which is again the curl command, and we need to run this one. This is a zip file. So let's copy this, and in this directory, remember this is fabric dev server directory that we have created, new one, and on this we are going to run this. Yeah, the curl tool or utility is a tool to transfer data from or to a server using one of the many supported protocols, such as you have HTTP and FTP and stuff. So that's what curl tool does. And so here, which you see, it has downloaded the zip file, and then we are going to unzip it by using this command. paste it. Okay, so the file has been unzipped. So we just see. So now let's take a look. Okay, so it has quite a lot of executables over here, and okay, so next thing that we're going to do is, okay, so next thing that we need to do is we need to, so this zip file actually downloaded the scripts, and in these are the scripts, some of the scripts that it downloaded with download fabric.sh. So we actually need to go in and run this script so that it downloads whatever it has to. So let's go ahead and copy this, and we need to run this. So paste. Okay, it's executing. It's downloading a bunch of stuff. This is going to take a while because it's going to download all the Docker containers that will be used in running Fabric. So it's going to take a while. Let me pause this video for some time. Okay, so the script has finished executing. So the next thing that we're going to do is we'll go back to this. Okay, so we need to actually run this command to start Fabric. So before we do that, let me just list Docker PS. So this is a process listing for Docker, which is going to show you all the containers that are currently running. So as you can see that nothing is running, no container is running at the moment. So we need to actually start. So let's go ahead and start the Fabric. So slash start Fabric .sh. So this is going to set the environment, is going to set your couch TV, it has some example orders, etc. So this has been started. So we're going to go ahead and run Docker again. Sorry, Docker, and see whether containers are running or not. Okay, so our Fabric environment. So you can see that Docker containers have come up, some elements have come up. So this is going to, you don't have to understand everything at the moment, but this is going to run Fabric for us. So all this is your Docker container after we have run the start fabric.sh script. Okay, so next I just wanted to go through this. So we have this command over here, create peer admin card.sh, but at this moment don't run this command, I would suggest, because we need to actually play around with the playground. So just copy this and okay, so we are waiting for our playground to start locally. Okay, you can see. So it's opening the Composer playground locally. So this is what it is. So this is what we saw on the online version, and so we are going to work with this. So if you read this, it says it will typically open your browser automatically at the following address, and that's what we are seeing over here. We ran this command and it opened up the Composer playground for us. So probably now we need to actually model the file. I'll go through that and see how you're going to use the playground. So we're going to use this Composer Playground to model to deploy our business network. So before that, I just wanted to go through this one. This official documentation also has a playground tutorial. So I would suggest you to just go through this. This has all the everything that is needed to deploy a business network, and it is very important. You should get into the habit of going through the documents and trying to maneuver yourself. But I'm going to show you everything that we need to actually deploy a network through Playground. Now, before doing this, we need to define some of the jargons that are used, like assets, what are transactions, what are business network. So probably I'll end this part over here, and in next part I'll start with the definition of everything, and so that it's easier for you to understand what exactly we are doing in the playground. So guys, thank you for tuning in today, and please wait for the next part to come out, and it's going to be fun. Thanks a lot.